What are reviewers saying about this film? More importantly, what are you feeling about it? Because you out there watching this video are the ones who really matter in all this. You're the ones who are going to go to the theater or not. You're the ones who are going to pay for it on streaming or not. What we are going to do is look at some of the more in-depth articles about this, why people feel the way they do, what are the positives, what are the negatives, and where I end up by the end of this video. Games Radar, boy, I gotta tell you, I'm not entirely sure this headline, if you meant it to be positive, worked out that way. Says The War of the Rohirrim lands mixed reviews, but it's still higher rated than one of the Hobbit movies.
Down, down, down in Goblin Town.
Games Radar goes on, and here is the only reference to that piece of shit website called Rotten Tomatoes. It sits at 62%, which is still higher than The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies.
What you feel for that dwarf is not real.
Games Radar gives The War of the Rohirrim only 2.5 stars, saying, quote, what could have been an exciting experiment in telling a new tale in a beloved universe in a very different way feels heavily compromised. Kenji Kamiyata and his fellow anime veterans have produced great work before, but this uninspired expansion of the most iconic screen take on Tolkien doesn't allow anyone to show off what they can do best.
Well, that's great. That's just fucking great, man. Now what the fuck are we supposed to do?
Meanwhile, The Verge goes full scorched earth. I mean, we're talking massive nuclear devastation. Look at this headline. The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim, is a soulless return to Middle Earth. Further down in the article, there is little nuance to anyone's characterizations or motivations. Hera's another headstrong princess whose gender keeps her from being seen as a valuable warrior, and Wolf Reeds has so transparently evil that he's hard to buy as the kind of villain capable of outmaneuvering his enemies. Those weaknesses would be easier to overlook if the movie had more to offer in the way of exciting visuals. This is what a lot of us were concerned about. But even when The War of the Rohirrim is clearly trying to impress you with soaring shots of Middle-earth from great eagles' perspectives, it never feels like the movie is taking advantage of animation's ability to present fantasy worlds in ways that aren't possible with live action.
Well, that's just fucking great! Oh, great!
Over at Winter is Coming, The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim gets middling reviews, poor box office. I did a video on that a couple of days ago. It only did 2 million over the opening long weekend in the international market, 30 countries, movies, theaters. The article goes on, The War of the Rohirrim opens in the US this weekend. I don't want to doom the movie before it comes out, but the signs are not looking great. On top of The War of the Rohirrim itself being a little mid, audiences may have been inundated with too many subpar Lord of the Rings projects over the past several years. Do you think? Do you think?
Well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
The article goes on to quote the British publication, The Independent, says, there's a sense that a lot of these projects are being greenlit because corporate executives think they stand a good chance of making money, not because the creators behind them have a burning passion for the material. Hopefully, The War of the Rohirrim will prove the naysayers wrong when it opens here in the United States on Friday. This is an arbitrary source, but it's essentially a syndicated article that's been put out on a lot of news sites out there. This is from cleveland.com. This says, a Lord of the Rings tradition turned small scale in the anime Rohirrim. I don't begrudge any Tolkien addict a little anime fun, and maybe these references and callbacks will be enough to conjure some of the majesty of the books or Jackson's movies. I think he's referring to the story of Helm Hammerhand, a lot of the Easter eggs, including we saw the goblin and the orc with a going after rings for Mordor. To continue reading, you can tell Rohirrim was made with sincere belief in the world Tolkien created, but I, meaning the reviewer, found the connective tissue like a few notes from Howard Shore's original score that flowed in only reinforce how much grander movie ambitions once came to Rohan. He's talking about the live action movies, even The Hobbit, how much bigger their visions were. Quote, the War of the Rohirrim does manage to recapture one trait from the earlier films at 134 minutes. It's long.
Oh, come on!
Japan Today. Title is Lord of the Rings gets anime makeover with the War of the Rohirrim. Quote, we didn't want her to be some warrior princess, superhero boss girl, said Philippa Boynes. Quote, we wanted her to feel real. She's full of curiosity. She makes mistakes. Peter Jackson himself served as an executive producer for the new film, but, quote, stepped back, unquote, from day-to-day involvement, encouraging director Kamiyama to put his own anime stamp on the film. Quote, story-wise, we obviously wanted to stay true to the Tolkien universe, but at the same time, staying true to what we do best, which was just to make anime, agreed Kamiyama.
Not bad, not bad. Now you.
Boynes, who has been a key part of the Rings movie team for years, signaled that if the anime story is embraced by audiences, which it wasn't in the overseas market, we could be seeing future standalone entries. So more of the same. Here's what she told Playlist. Quote, there's a lot of possibilities when you look at it, and there's a lot of things in there, actually. One of the things this War of the Rohirrim story has shown us is that a standalone story works really successfully within the world of Middle-earth. And I would genuinely, because I've fallen in love with the form, love to see another anime. But that depends on audiences out there, your audience, fans of not only the original trilogy, but that vast anime audience. I'm really interested to see what they think, unquote. With all due respect, you forgot probably the most important fan base.
No, 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 no! Wait! Wait!
The readers. Long before Peter Jackson came along and made the fantastic trilogy, they were the reason that Tolkien was kept alive. Now, I'm Gen X, and I remember picking up The Hobbit for the first time when I was 11 years old in 1981. I developed a huge appreciation for Tolkien and started reading everything fantasy and science fiction. It made me the nerd I am today. I don't know if that omission was deliberate, but just saying that, oh, there's all these people that like anime. Well, that's great, but what about the hundreds of millions of international Tolkien readers that are out there? The same ones that were radically disappointed by the Rings of Power.
It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them!
This is Rotoscope and their review, The War of the Rohirrim review, a solid Middle-earth royal drama. The article says the animation and character designs are, for the most part, stunning and beautiful. There are times where the characters feel stiff and clunky, which may have been a result of the short production schedule, meaning that director Kamiyama, famous anime director, probably wasn't given enough time to do what he needed to do to make a better film. The anime style, which may be initially off-putting to some, fits this high fantasy world, allowing the film to stand on its own instead of bringing comparisons to Peter Jackson. This style particularly lends itself to blood and gore that accompany war films, enabling it to show the gruesome aspects of battle. For example, the gruesome Oliphants are significantly more ferocious and terrifying in this anime styling than the 2005 film.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim review, enjoyably gory. See, getting me excited. Enjoyably gory epic is a useful addition to Tolkien lore. Is that a backhanded Irish compliment? Let's cut to the chase on the Irish Times. There's nothing here to win over those habitually disposed of sword and sorcery, but anybody half on board should have a decent time. It is certainly a heck of a lot better than the overextended Hobbit trilogy.
You blew it up! Oh, damn you! God damn you all to hell!
Movie talkies. The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim review. Kenji Kamiyata anime is interesting, but low on substance in scale. Quote, I am still pondering the mediocre sound design and art direction. Lord of the Rings implies colossal scale, but where is that in Rohirrim? Lord of the Rings requires a proper lineup of events, and this one is far from perfect. Kenji Kamiyama's emotional arcs take too much time, and during that phase, we lose connection with the film as Lord of the Rings or has action fans. The anime vision is still acceptable and should please anime enthusiasts. This is a decent film, but it falls short of its own potential and could have been much better.
That is why you fail.
So there you have it. Those are the reviews that I thought were interesting. I didn't put these together to try and steer or create a narrative. What are you thinking about this? Have any of these opinions swayed you one way or another? I think all of us, after the debacle of not just the Rings of Power, but my God, everything, with the same agenda, the same messaging, the same incompetence and negligence around storytelling, and then a media who gaslit us and called us names for what? 10 years almost of this bullshit. I know for myself, my tolerance and my ability to accept a director's vision or interpretation is something, like I said earlier in the video, it's fucking gone. Okay? I have a whole cabinet full of physical media of things that are fantastic, and I'm continuing to discover even more things that I might have overlooked, which, while not perfect, actually have a good story. You gonna go see this thing? As ever, I'm Salty Traveling C. You have a good one. Oh, and Merry Christmas.